The wedding invitation hit Chisholm's desk with a crisp snap. She looked up from the baby she was feeding to find Michael Kim standing over her, his expression unreadable as always. 3 weeks had passed since the attack. 3 weeks of this strange captivity that felt less like prison and more like something she couldn't name. "What's this?" she asked, shifting the now healthy baby to her other arm. "My cousin's wedding. This Saturday." Minho's jaw tightened. "My family will be there. They're going to ask questions about why I'm raising my son alone, about why there's no mother in the picture." Chisholm raised an eyebrow. "So tell them the truth." Hello viewers, welcome to AfroKWave-Tv. We are glad you are joining us here. Before we continue, please kindly subscribe to our channel and tell us in the comment section where you are watching this video from. The truth makes me look weak, makes my son vulnerable. He paused and something flickered in his eyes. "I need you to come with me." As my wife, the bottle nearly slipped from her hands. "Excuse me?" "A fake marriage, just for the wedding. My family needs to believe I'm stable, settled, capable of protecting my heir." Minho pulled out a small velvet box and opened it. A diamond ring caught the light, obscenely expensive. "One day, you play the devoted wife, I get my family off my back, and afterward I'll triple your payment, enough to disappear anywhere in the world." Chisholm looked down at the baby in her arms, now drowsy and milk-drunk. Over the past weeks, she'd watched Minho transform from a terrified stranger into something resembling a father. She'd seen him wake at 3 a.m. to change diapers, seen him research baby development obsessively, seen the way his cold mask crumbled every time his son smiled. And she'd felt her own walls crumbling too, despite every instinct screaming at her to stay detached. "Why me?" she asked quietly. "You could hire an actress, someone who'd be more acceptable to your family." "Because my son knows you, trusts you. He'll need to be there, and he won't let anyone else hold him for that long." Minho's voice softened. "And because you're the only person who's seen me at my worst and didn't flinch. Your family is going to have a problem with me being black." "Let them." His tone turned hard. "Anyone who disrespects you answers to me." Something in his fierce protectiveness made her chest tighten. "One day. That's it. Then you arrange my transfer to Dubai like you promised. Deal." Minho held out the ring. Chisholm set the baby in his bassinet and extended her hand. When Minho slid the ring onto her finger, his touch lingered a moment too long. Their eyes met, and the air between them crackled with something dangerous. Saturday arrived faster than Chisholm expected. She stood in front of the mirror in a traditional Korean hanbok, deep burgundy silk that Minho had custom-made for her. The designer had come to the penthouse taking measurements while commenting on how the color would look stunning against her dark skin. Minho had spared no expense, even hiring someone to help her with the complicated wrapping and ties. "You look beautiful," Minho said from the doorway. He wore a traditional hanbok too, black and silver, looking every bit the powerful heir to a criminal dynasty. "We should go over our story," Chisholm said, ignoring the flutter in her stomach. "How did we meet?" "At the hospital where you work. I brought in one of my men after a business accident. You treated him with such skill and compassion that I couldn't stop thinking about you." His eyes held hers. "I pursued you relentlessly until you finally agreed to dinner. 3 months later, I proposed. You said yes because despite my dangerous life, you saw the man underneath, the man who wanted to be better. That's oddly specific. The best lies are built on truth." Minho picked up the baby, now dressed in a miniature hanbok. "Ready?" The wedding was held at an exclusive venue in Gangnam, dripping with wealth and tradition. The moment they entered, Chisholm felt every eye turn to them. Whispers rippled through the crowd like wildfire. She lifted her chin, refusing to shrink under their scrutiny. Minho's hand found the small of her back, warm and possessive. "Breathe," he murmured. "You're doing fine." His mother approached first, an elegant woman in her 60s with sharp eyes that missed nothing. She looked Chisholm up and down, then at the baby, then back at Minho. "So this is your wife," she said in English, her tone neutral. "I heard rumors, but I didn't believe my son would marry without telling his own mother." "It happened quickly," Minho said smoothly. "When you know, you know. And this child, he looks like you did as a baby." His mother's expression softened as she peered at the infant. "My son. Our son," Minho corrected himself, glancing at Chisholm. His mother studied them both for a long moment. "You love her? I can see it in your eyes when you look at her. That's not fake." Chisholm's heart hammered. Before she could respond, Minho's mother smiled slightly. "Good. It's about time you found something worth protecting besides your empire." She switched to Korean, speaking rapidly to Minho, whose expression grew tense. "What did she say?" Chisholm asked when his mother walked away. "She said she approves, that you have kind eyes and a strong spirit." Minho's jaw clenched. "She also said she knows this is fake, but she hopes I'm smart enough not to let you go." "Minho, we should dance. It's expected of newlyweds." On the dance floor, Minho pulled her close, one hand on her waist, the other holding hers. They moved together, and Chisholm was acutely aware of every point where their bodies touched. The baby slept peacefully in a nearby carrier, watched over by Minho's most trusted guard. "You're a good dancer," she said, needing to break the tension. "You sound surprised." "I just didn't picture a mafia boss taking ballroom lessons. My mother insisted, said a man who couldn't dance was uncivilized." His lips quirked. She was probably right. They swayed in silence for a moment before Minho spoke again. "What if it wasn't fake?" Chisholm's breath caught. "What?" Us." His eyes burned into hers. "What if you stayed? Not as a prisoner or an employee, but as my wife, my son's mother. What if we made this real?" "Minho, you can't just—" "I'm falling in love with you, Chisholm." His voice was raw with honesty. "I've been falling since the moment you chose to shield my son instead of escaping. Since you taught me how to be a father. Since you sang those lullabies and looked at him like he was yours. I know I have no right to ask. I know I kidnapped you and threatened you and turned your life upside down, but I'm asking anyway. Stay." Tears pricked Chisholm's eyes. "You don't love me. You love what I represent. Safety for your son. Normalcy. I love the way you laugh when he does something cute. I love how you refuse to be intimidated by me. I love your strength, your compassion, your fire." Minho's hand cupped her cheek. "I love you, Chisholm. All of you. This is crazy, we barely know each other. Then let's get to know each other. No more lies, no more games, just us figuring this out together." Before she could respond, he kissed her. It was soft and desperate and full of unspoken promises. Chisholm's defenses shattered completely. She kissed him back, pouring 3 weeks of confusion and longing and reluctant affection into it. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, she knew everything had changed. "I'm terrified," she whispered. "So am I." Minho pressed his forehead to hers. "But I've never been more certain of anything." Chisholm looked over at the baby sleeping peacefully. She thought about Dubai, about escape, about the life she'd planned. Then she thought about late-night feedings and Minho's rare smiles and the way that tiny infant had wrapped himself around her heart. If I stay, things have to change. No more criminal empire. I won't raise a child in that world. I'm already planning my exit strategy. For him, for you, for us. Minho's thumb traced her jawline. I meant what I said about wanting to be better. This is insane. The best things usually are. Chisholm took a shaky breath and smiled through her tears. Okay, let's try. But I'm keeping this ring. Minho laughed, the sound genuine and free. It's yours. Everything I have is yours. As they swayed together on the dance floor, surrounded by curious eyes and whispered speculation, Chisholm realized she'd found something she never expected in her captivity. A family, a purpose, a love that defied every logical reason. If you've made it this far, drop a comment below telling us what you'd do in Chisholm's situation. Would you stay or would you run? And don't forget to subscribe for more emotional love stories that will keep you hooked until the very end. Hit that like button if this story touched your heart.